to start off talking about why the next bigger weather system for the region looks like it might end up more rainy than snowy. So let's take a look at what's going on with that. So this is coming up later this week. Thursday evening, strong developing storm making its way over the Great Lakes, but instead of passing to the south and east of the Maritimes, which would help keep colder air in place. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit more of an inside runner. In other words, taking a path that will likely take it up through the St. Lawrence River Valley. And what that does is it keeps us on the rainy, milder and windy side of that weather system. Winds will be out of the south and southwest. They would pick up to become quite high and gusty, though, on Friday, especially as we head into Friday evening and Friday night because of the pressure gradient around that storm system. But you can see it's expected to push in rain across much of the Maritimes, basically the southerly winds moving the colder air out of the way for it. So that's the next bigger weather system. It's headed our way towards the end of this week. Of course, we have things to talk about between now and then. Where is that weather system currently? It's still just sitting off the coast of BC, so it's got a long way to go before it arrives for us. Speaking of BC, they still have some rainfall warnings out for southern parts of BC. Victoria right now reporting rain, sitting at 14 degrees. Temperatures have come up in Alberta. Calgary right now sitting at 12 degrees. Edmonton at 6. It's still colder in northern Alberta. Fort McMurray sitting at -17. Some of the bitter cold has come out of the air in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, though most communities are sitting with temperatures below the freezing mark. Polar air in place for northern areas of Manitoba and extending into northern areas of Ontario, as well as northern Quebec and Labrador. Labrador City right now sitting at -18. Of course, getting into a west and northwest wind here in the Maritimes. We're feeling some of that cold, so -8 this hour. Fredericton, Halifax, and Charlottetown. And wind chills will be making it feel well down into the -teens across the region as we move through tonight. Even some -20s in the northwest of New Brunswick. Taking a look at our timeline, the other thing we need to be careful about is the fact that there are some snow squalls that have developed off the Gulf of St. Lawrence and Northumberland Strait. The risk will be highest around eastern parts of PEI, parts of Kings County, especially moving up towards areas like Surrey, for example, and Pictou-Antigonish counties and into areas of Cape Breton. Now, not everybody through those areas will see a snow squall, but those locations that do get into one, because remember, they're highly localized, they could pick up to become quite intense, and there are some warnings related to it. Additional snowfall amounts could be up to around 10 centimeters in some of those squalls. Poor visibility as well in blowing and drifting snow. Now, the risk of snow squalls for that part of the Maritimes does carry on into Tuesday morning, but the situation should improve by the afternoon for eastern parts of Prince Edward Island, the north shore of Nova Scotia, and then improve in Cape Breton by the time we get into early Tuesday evening. Other parts of the region for tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with some isolated flurries. Winds in the forecast for Tuesday will be out of the west. They'll be sustained near 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40, so not as gusty as it was today, but you'll notice it. There'll be a breeze out there, and the temperatures are still colder. Speaking of colder, it's a colder night across the region. A lot of low temperatures for many parts of the Maritimes. New Brunswick, -10 to -15. Down around -8 for Prince Edward Island. A lot of lows for Nova Scotia, -11 to -7, except closer to -5 on parts of the coast. Highs for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick between -4 and -7, with central and southern areas of New Brunswick with high temperatures mostly between -4 and -1. Prince Edward Island tomorrow can expect afternoon high temperatures around -4, -5 for most communities. In Cape Breton, the high temperatures between -3 and -5, and same thing goes for the north shore and eastern shore of mainland Nova Scotia. Northern and central parts of the province tomorrow with high temperatures between -5 and -2. The Annapolis Valley will be chilly with highs around -3, 0 for Digby. A few communities on the south shore and southwest of Nova Scotia, coastal areas, could get up to around +1. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook for New Brunswick, cloudy periods on Wednesday. Temperatures come up just above the freezing mark. A mix of sun and cloud on Thursday. Temperatures turn milder on Friday, but that's because of that rainy and windy weather system moving through. And then it gets cold in behind it. There's a chance of flurries on Saturday, flurries in the forecast for Sunday. For Nova Scotia in the outlook, coming up on Wednesday, it's a milder day with cloudy periods, then a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday, turning rainy and windy late in the day on Friday, followed by colder air returning, so flurries in the forecast for Saturday, but a chance of showers during the day on Sunday. Monday, a mix of sun and cloud. And finally, for Prince Edward Island, the forecast mostly cloudy on Wednesday. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, rainy and windy on Friday. Colder air follows in behind that weather system, so a chance of flurries Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.